My girlfriend said I had husband energy too early. Her friends laughed. She laughed too. That is when I understood I wasn't her future. I was her safety net. I am Caleb, 34, operations manager at a logistics company outside Columbus. I am not the guy people notice. I drive a 2015 Honda Accord, don't have Instagram, and live my life quietly, consistently, the way I thought you were supposed to. For 3 years, I believed love meant showing up, staying when things got uncomfortable, being someone you could count on. Madeline taught me I was wrong. We met at a friend's birthday party. She was 27, worked in PR for a boutique marketing agency. She had this energy that filled every room. I was 31, recently promoted, finally stable. When she smiled at me from across that kitchen, I felt like I had won something. The first year was good. She would drag me to networking events where I would stand near the drinks while she worked the room. I didn't mind. I would help her refine pitches when she got stuck. After 18 months, we moved in together. A 2-bedroom in German Village, rent that stretched my budget. Madeline's income was unpredictable. I covered the gaps: rent, groceries, utilities. She was building something. I was stable. That is what partners did. The cracks started small: late client dinners. Her phone always face down, notifications muted. One name appeared more than others: Jordan. Jordan was an independent marketing consultant, 33, expensive casual clothes and effortless confidence. Madeline mentioned him constantly. Her friends adored him. At group dinners, someone joked that Caleb had husband energy too early, and maybe Madeline needed to live a little first. Everyone laughed. Madeline laughed. She never corrected them. I started noticing things I had ignored: how she had light up when Jordan texted, how she would spend extra time getting ready for events he had attend. I told myself I was being insecure, that this was just how her industry worked. Then came the after-party. Early October, perfect fall evening. Madeline's agency was celebrating a major client. I told her I would come after work. I arrived around 9:30. The place was packed, music loud. I spotted her group on the back patio. I started making my way through when I heard her laugh. I stopped, blocked from view by a planter. I could see her perfectly. Black dress, wine glass, Jordan next to her. 2 friends facing them. One said, "But seriously, Mads, what is the deal? Are you and Caleb heading toward engagement or what?" Madeline sipped her wine, glanced at Jordan. "Why would I limit myself? I have got excitement." She gestured toward Jordan. "And I have got Caleb holding everything together." "So what is he to you?" Madeline shrugged, smiling. "He is safe. Everyone needs safe." They laughed, moved on. I watched her lean into Jordan, never looking toward the entrance for me. I didn't feel angry. I felt clear. I walked out without saying hello, drove home. Saturday on the couch in the dark. Around midnight, Madeline came in, slightly drunk, happy she didn't ask where I had been. Just kissed my cheek and went to bed. I didn't confront her. I understood exactly what it meant. I wasn't chosen. I was kept, the reliable one. The safe one, making her life easier while she kept her options open. The next morning, I started planning my exit. Over the next 10 days, I moved carefully. I opened a new bank account at a different branch and gradually transferred my savings. I canceled our shared streaming subscriptions, citing budget adjustments. I removed my card from her Uber account, small changes, nothing dramatic, nothing she would notice. Madeline actually seemed pleased with my behavior. She told me I was finally maturing and getting more organized. She didn't realize I was building a clean separation. On day 6, I discovered something that turned my quiet hurt into something colder. I was looking for a file on our shared laptop, the one we both used for personal stuff. I opened Madeline's email by accident, looking for a document she had mentioned saving. That is when I saw the forwarded message sitting in her sent folder. 3 weeks earlier, I had helped her refine a pitch proposal for a potential client, a local brewery looking to rebrand and expand their regional presence. I had spent hours editing that proposal, staying up until 2 in the morning, tightening the strategy, making the language sharper, fixing her tendency to overuse marketing buzzwords. Madeline had thanked me, kissed my forehead, said it was perfect, sent it off. Except she hadn't just sent it to the client. She had forwarded the entire proposal to Jordan the same night. Subject line: Thoughts on this approach? Caleb helped me polish it. His response came back within an hour. This is really solid work. Mind if I adapt some of this strategy for the craft beverage pitch I mentioned? Similar market segment. Her response: go for it. He will not mind. 2 days after that exchange, Jordan announced on LinkedIn that he had landed a major consulting contract with a different brewery in the same market segment. The strategy points in his announcement sounded remarkably, painfully familiar. The exact three-pronged approach I had helped structure, the same emphasis on authentic local storytelling, even some of the specific language about community engagement and craft culture. I sat there staring at that email chain for a long time. It wasn't about the proposal itself. It was about what it represented. I wasn't just her emotional safety net. I was a resource. My time, my work, my stability, my ideas. All of it was just material she could mine and share with someone she found more valuable, someone more exciting, someone worth impressing. I didn't mention it to her. What would be the point? She would either deny it, minimize it, or make me feel crazy for being upset. None of those options changed the fundamental truth. She saw me as useful, not essential, dependable, not desirable. Madeline had a 3-day conference in Chicago scheduled for mid-October. She left on a Thursday morning, excited about the panels and networking opportunities. She kissed me goodbye at the door, reminded me to water her plants, said she would miss me. I waited until her flight landed, and she texted to say she had arrived safely. Then I started packing. I had already given notice at our apartment complex the week before, accepting that I would lose our security deposit. $1,400 worth every penny. I had arranged for a small moving truck. I had already lined up a short-term sublet through a colleague whose son was studying abroad for the semester. Everything was ready. It took me 6 hours to pack my entire life: clothes, books, my desk, kitchen items I would brought into the relationship. I was methodical. I didn't take anything that was clearly hers. I didn't damage anything. I didn't leave a mess. I just removed myself. The only thing I left behind was a note on the kitchen counter next to my keys and the mail I had sorted. You didn't want to choose. I did. I turned in my copy of the lease to the building manager. I drove to my temporary new place. I unpacked the essentials, and then I blocked Madeline's number. She came home Sunday evening to an empty apartment. I know this because our mutual friend Rachel called me Monday morning frantic. Madeline had been texting everyone, calling people, showing up at Rachel's door in tears. She wanted to know where I was, if I was safe, what happened, why I left without talking to her. Rachel asked me what I wanted her to tell Madeline. Tell her I am fine, I said, and that I am not coming back, Caleb. She is devastated, she says. She doesn't understand. She understands exactly what happened. She just didn't think I had leave. Rachel was quiet for a moment. Do you want to tell me what happened? Not really, I said, but you can tell her I am not interested in explaining myself. She had 3 years to see me clearly. That was enough time. I didn't block Rachel or our other mutual friends, but I made it clear I wasn't discussing Madeline. I wasn't taking messages. I wasn't interested in closure conversations or explanations or attempts at reconciliation. I was done. Over the next few weeks, the updates came anyway. Through Rachel, through another friend named Marcus, who worked in the same building as Madeline's agency. I didn't ask for the information. They seemed to think I needed to know. Maybe they thought I would feel vindicated. I didn't. I just felt done. Madeline tried everything: new phone numbers, emails that started apologetic and ended angry, Instagram DMs to my dormant account. She showed up at my office building twice before security informed her I had requested she be denied entry. She called my mother, who lives in Cleveland. My mom, bless her, listened politely for 30 minutes, and then told Madeline that I was a grown man who made his own choices, and she supported me completely. The professional fallout happened faster than I expected. Without me to help with proposals and client communications, Madeline's work started slipping. Deadlines she would usually hit with my editing support went by with incomplete deliverables. Client complaints surfaced about communication gaps, unclear strategy documents, missed details in campaign briefs. Her agency put her on a performance improvement plan within a month. I heard she had started missing team meetings, showing up late to client calls. The polish that had defined her professional image was cracking. Jordan, predictably, distanced himself the moment the optics shifted. Once it became clear that Madeline's professional network was weakening and her reputation was taking hits, his texts became less frequent. He stopped inviting her to industry events. According to Marcus, who heard it through the marketing scene gossip that travels fast in Columbus, Jordan had started dating someone else within 6 weeks, a brand director at a major retail company, someone with a more stable career trajectory and better industry connections. Madeline's friends were less sympathetic than she had expected. Becca apparently told her straight out that she had played games and lost the good one. Simone was kinder but still pointed out that Madeline had seemed to take me for granted, that she had made her priorities clear through her actions, and now had to live with the consequences. I learned all of this secondhand. I never responded to any of Madeline's attempts to reach me. Not once. Radio silence was my only revenge. And it wasn't even revenge. It was just the absence of someone who had been quietly holding everything together while being treated like an afterthought. I focused on myself for the first time in years. The new job opportunity I had been passively considering became an actual application. Regional Operations Director for a company in Cincinnati. Better pay, better growth potential. I interviewed well. They offered. I accepted. I found a small condo in Cincinnati's Qley neighborhood. 1 bedroom, updated kitchen, close to work. I bought actual furniture instead of the hand-me-down stuff I had accumulated. I started running again. I read books I had been meaning to read for years. I went to therapy and worked through why I had stayed so long in a relationship where I had felt more tolerated than cherished. I started dating again after about 8 months. Nothing serious at first. Coffee meetings, casual dinners, learning how to be myself without molding my personality to fit someone else's needs. Then I met Emma at a friend's board game night. She was a librarian, quiet like me, with this dry sense of humor that caught me off guard. We started talking, then kept talking. 3 months later, we were exclusive. 6 months after that, I was happier than I had been in years. The engagement party happened almost exactly a year after I had left. Rachel was getting married to her long-term boyfriend, and she invited both me and Madeline. I almost declined. Emma said she would go if I wanted to go, but she would also understand if I didn't. I thought about it for a week, and finally decided I had spent enough time organizing my life around avoiding Madeline. I RSVP'd yes. The party was at a wine bar in German Village, ironically just a few blocks from the apartment Madeline and I used to share. Emma and I arrived together. She wore a blue dress. I had gotten a haircut. I felt good, centered, like myself. I saw Madeline within 5 minutes. She was standing near the windows, talking to someone I didn't recognize. She looked different, still beautiful, but there was something subdued about her. Less polish. Her dress wasn't quite as carefully chosen. Her makeup wasn't as precise. She saw me at the same moment I saw her. Our eyes met across the room. I gave her a small nod, the kind you would give an acquaintance. Then I turned back to Emma and continued our conversation about the venue's wine selection. Madeline approached us maybe 20 minutes later. Emma had gone to the restroom. I was standing alone near the appetizer table when Madeline walked up. "Hi," she said. Her voice was smaller than I remembered. "Hi," I said. "You look good," she said. "Really good, thanks. You too." She laughed, but it wasn't her real laugh. "You don't have to be polite." I didn't respond to that. Just took a sip of my wine. "Is that your girlfriend?" she asked, nodding toward where Emma had gone. "Yeah, Emma. She seems nice." "She is." The silence stretched between us. Madeline looked down at her drink, then back at me. "I tried to reach you. For months, I know. You never responded." "Number why?" Her voice cracked slightly. "Why didn't you at least let me explain?" I set my wine glass down on the nearest table. "Explain what?" "Madeline, that you meant what you said at that party. That you didn't mean it. That you are sorry." I heard it. What explanation would have changed anything? "I didn't." She started, then stopped. I wasn't thinking clearly. "I don't care about Jordan," I said, and I meant it. This was never about him. It was about how you saw me, how you talked about me, how you treated what we had. Her eyes were shining now, tears threatening. "You were the only person who never competed with me, who just supported me without needing something back." I looked at her for a long moment. "That is why you never chose me," I said quietly. Because I didn't make you compete. I didn't make you chase. I was just there, reliable, safe. And you thought that meant I always would be. I did choose you, she said. Every day I was with you, I was choosing you. No, I said. You were keeping me. There is a difference. Emma came back then, and I saw Madeline register her presence. Emma touched my arm gently, looked between us, read the situation immediately. Everything okay? Emma asked. Yeah, I said. Madeline was just saying hello. Madeline. This is Emma. Emma. Madeline. Madeline. They shook hands with the kind of polite distance women use when they both know exactly who the other person is. Emma didn't smile warmly, she wasn't rude, just neutral, protective without being obvious about it. I should get back, Madeline said. It was good to see you, Caleb. Take care of yourself, I said. She hesitated, like she wanted to say more. Then she just nodded and walked away. Emma waited until Madeline was out of earshot. You okay? Yeah, I said. And there was no racing heart, no anger, no longing, just a quiet observation of someone who used to matter and didn't anymore. We stayed at the party another hour. I talked to Rachel, congratulated her and her fiancé, caught up with old friends I hadn't seen in months. Madeline stayed on the other side of the room. We didn't speak again. As Emma and I were getting ready to leave, I saw Madeline watching us from across the venue. She was alone. Her friends were in another conversation group. Jordan wasn't there. She just stood there with her drink, looking at me with Emma, seeing what she had lost by never fully choosing it when she had the chance. I held the door for Emma as we left. We walked to my car hand in hand. The October air was cool, comfortable. Emma asked if I wanted to talk about the encounter. I said maybe later. She said okay. We drove home in comfortable silence, the kind you can only have with someone who doesn't need you to perform or explain yourself constantly. That night, lying in bed, I thought about what Madeline had said, about me being the only person who didn't compete with her, who just supported her without needing something back. She had said it like it was a compliment, like it was the thing she valued most about me, but she had been wrong about the last part. I did need something back. I needed to be chosen, actually chosen, not kept as the safe option while she explored more exciting possibilities, not valued for my usefulness while she saved her genuine enthusiasm for someone else. Being stable, reliable, consistent, those aren't character flaws. They are not weaknesses. They are valuable qualities. But staying somewhere you are only valued for your stability will cost you your peace. It will cost you your self-respect. It will cost you the chance to find someone who doesn't just appreciate your dependability but actually desires your presence. Madeline needed safe. She said it herself. Everyone needs safe. But I needed to be more than someone's insurance policy. I needed to be their first choice, their best choice, their obvious choice. Emma's asleep next to me now. Her hand is resting on my chest. She chose me, actively and clearly, after seeing exactly who I am. No safety net required, no backup plan, just genuine want. That is the difference Madeline never understood. Being someone's anchor isn't the same as being their harbor. An anchor holds you in place when you would rather be somewhere else. A harbor is where you choose to return because it feels like home. I am not bitter about the 3 years I spent with Madeline. I learned what I needed to learn. I learned that love without choice is just comfortable convenience. I learned that being valued isn't the same as being cherished. I learned that leaving someone who doesn't see your worth isn't cruel. It is necessary. It is self-preservation dressed up as a difficult decision. And I learned that the quiet guy who shows up consistently, who edits proposals at midnight and covers rent gaps and cosigns, car leases, and just wants to be genuinely chosen, that guy deserves someone who doesn't laugh when her friends suggest he has husband energy too early. He deserves someone who hears that and says, actually, that is exactly what I want. Someone who doesn't need to keep their options open because they have already found what they were looking for. I found that Madeline's probably still looking for whatever she thought Jordan represented. Or the next Jordan, or the version of excitement that never requires the boring work of actually building something real with another person. The kind of excitement that doesn't demand vulnerability or consistency, or the terrifying commitment of actually choosing someone fully. I hope she finds whatever she is searching for, but I also hope she learns what I learned. That safe isn't settling. that stable isn't boring, that the person who holds everything together while you are busy being exciting might not wait forever for you to realize what you had, that by the time you figure out the difference between security and love, the person offering both might have found someone who recognized the value from the start. Nothing was broken between us. I was just carrying more than she ever noticed. And the day I stopped carrying it, she finally understood what I had been worth all along. But by then, I was already home, just not with her.